Today in the crypto space, we see the market going sideways. Bitcoin right around the 87,000, Ethereum right around that $2,000 mark, and the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, pretty much stagnant price action. However, a few good moves to the upside, such as Sui, Celestia, Hyperliquid, INA, and a few others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I want to focus on Bitcoin today because ultimately, Bitcoin stuck in gridlock, obviously keeps us in a level of suspense, wondering if the altcoins are going to continue moving up or are we going to come down to much lower levels. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. I'll be honest, today was a tough day. Not much trading action. As you can see, the trading volume is stuck in gridlock. Price, market cap, Bitcoin price, many charts at the current moment are stuck in gridlock. Very difficult times to be trading at the current moment. So guys, I totally understand if you're left uncertain today. I came to the realization that I'm experiencing a bit of chart paralysis. And what that is when you're looking at the charts quite a bit, you don't really see clarity. And those are good signals of when it's time to take a break. Taking a break from charts, taking a break from the markets allows your brain to desensitize, and in this case, become less desensitized, and obviously start looking at the charts in a very different light. And it's super important, right? Because once you become desensitized, it's hard to really see what the chart is trying to tell you, right? So you have to consider the charts almost like a language. It is a language. It's trying to tell you certain things, some data points. They're trying to explain to you where the market potentially is going. And it just happens to be that the market is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. As you can see, the total market cap is totally flatlined, right? Right around $3 trillion for the last little while. Today was one of the worst trading days in the sense that there was nothing to be done, right? You could get into a few scalps here and there, lower time frames, good stuff there. But, sitting in front of a screen, looking at charts, making up stories is not very good. It's better to wait for some trending price action. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on here with the top 100. Then we'll take a look at Bitcoin and kind of give a broad picture perspective of what we could expect in the next little while. Just keep in mind, there's just a game of probability. And Bitcoin is currently at a very, very important inflection point. And obviously, we'll discuss that in a second. So let's kind of go through this. We do see a bit of green. I'll be honest. There is a bit of green in some of the alts. When Bitcoin goes sideways, we tend to see some of the altcoins wake up, which is good. However, sometimes it is temporary. And what I mean by that is if Bitcoin starts to run from this level based on a short squeeze, we'll talk about that, of course, it's very possible that Bitcoin sucks liquidity out of the alts. We've had that experience. We've seen that before. A strong Bitcoin is not necessarily the best thing for altcoins in the short term. It sucks liquidity. It makes people sell their alts to buy Bitcoin. And then if Bitcoin falls, it is also not good for the altcoins. And this, could happen for a longer period of time because technically speaking, if we see Bitcoin sell off for a long period of time, people start to sell off the risk on assets on the risk curve, and altcoins fit that bill. So we have to understand that ultimately Bitcoin going sideways right now is either preparing the market for a continuation to the upside, and we're seeing sideways price action on Bitcoin means that people start speculating on other assets, which is what we're kind of seeing today. But if Bitcoin keeps on running, we can get a short-term pullback on these alts, and when Bitcoin consolidates again, it's likely we're going to get a bigger impulse for the altcoin market. And this is usually what happens here. bit by bit, level to level. I'm talking about intraday trading, right? So we got to understand that this is probably a green day for the alts, a slightly green day for the alts because of that. And as we keep on scrolling down, you can see Sui's doing great, 10% to the upside. But you know, bags right now, spot bags should be doing amazing. We do have a lot of others. What else do we have here? A few others. 6% for Hyperliquid, a bit of a recovery because it is still down a little bit here, down 26%, especially after that issue with some of the liquidity, the trades and the trade that it had almost basically. It definitely had an issue with one of the open trades that it had, a bit of manipulation happening there, and that's a long story. But Hyperliquid, ultimately one of the best dexes out there that is decentralized, offering perpetuals, right? So this is a good thing. Hyperliquid is potentially the beginning of the new innovation within the DeFi narrative that allows perpetual trades to open up on dexes, which is great, right? So we're seeing innovation within that space as well. And as we keep on going down, you can see a bit of green, 2%, more or less, 4.5, more or less. You can see BitTensor doing pretty good, a slow grind to the upside. You know, Celestia doing pretty good, 6% move there. And we got a few others, you know, KuCoin still hanging out there, doing its thing. We got Maker waking up a little bit. So some of the alts are doing good. And it's off the back of the fact that Bitcoin's doing nothing. Okay, Bitcoin is flat. And when Bitcoin is flat, that's usually what we see, speculation in the alts, because degens want speculation. They want the ability to earn and to trade and to profit, and they start, you know, DCing and looking for bids on other assets out there. So that's that. Now, what's going on with Bitcoin? The bigger question. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of these charts. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, guys, is still doing nothing. It's been so long. Bitcoin is still doing nothing, and unfortunately, a lot of us are losing patience. We see the space is shrinking as far as engagement. We're seeing the total market cap shrinking, because of course nobody's interested in Bitcoin at the current moment. However, guys, certain scenarios usually end up with massive explosive moves. It's because a lot of people are not paying attention. So let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. You got to think about the max pain scenario. You got to think about what happens in both case scenarios of max pain. Painful scenarios come in two ways. Number one, obviously, getting liquidated, getting into crazy trades where you lose a lot of your portfolio. That's unfortunate. And also, it becomes very painful when you see the market leave without you, and it leaves you behind. And that's also, in my opinion, more painful. It's more painful than having a portfolio that's underwater, because all you have to do is hold. Right? Hold, and eventually it'll recover. But leaving the station and you watching and see prices fly is super, super painful. So I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to be that guy that spent 2-3 years, you know, in a bear market looking for opportunities and looking at them, studying all these projects, and then missing out on an explosive move to the upside. Now, I know a lot of us are losing our patience. And to be honest, that's another way of capitulation, is losing patience and eventually leaving the space because you don't have the patience to wait and see the follow through. The reality is that the market tends to time these events. It times a capitulation. It waits for capitulation. It waits for the opportunity to induce pain. So did we induce a bit of pain here? I think we did. With this retracement, it was quite painful for a lot of people. And then on top of that, we're seeing a bit of discomfort based on the patience that we lack. And obviously, a lot of people are leaving the space. And we're seeing that. So what do we expect now? Now, we can be a counter trader and start to say, well, the trend is your friend. Right? Clearly, guys, we got to be clear. The daily trend is still down. Okay, lower lows and lower highs. We can't make this up. Okay, this is true. I know there's some bullish people out there. You know, they're calling this the absolute bottom, and you know what? It could be, and they could be 100% right. Okay. However, there's no major evidence of that at the current moment. Okay, we didn't even really hit liquidity levels really to really cause some pain at these zones. We're not going to talk about that because ultimately that is still fair game. The 72K level, still fair game in my book. However, guys, what I'm most concerned about is what happens as we lead into the summer. Do we continue with this sideways price action and chop around this level? The reality is, look at this distribution. It took a while, guys. I just want to be clear that this distribution took approximately 100 days, okay, before we actually started making impulsive moves. Could we get into an accumulation that at best, okay, right now, how far into this potential pivot point structure? We're in 33 days. Let's say we double it. Let's say we go about 60, 70 days. Guys, we have some time. And if you look at it, that's May, the end of May. That's the beginning of May, right? That's a long time. Selling may go away. Guys, I'm sure you heard of that saying. That's usually when the markets really get dry out there and there's not a lot of volume. Selling may go away. Then when do we come back? We get back in September? Do we have to wait the whole summer? Another 200 days? How many days? The reality is that timing the market has gotten us wrecked. And that's the truth. We expected the cycle to treat us well. And a lot of us, started front running the altcoins, including myself. And on this pullback, we are seeing the altcoins, to pull back harder. And a lot of them are back to bear market bottoms. So what we have to do is show a little bit of patience here, guys. And I feel like getting absolutely bullish at the current moment is somewhat risky. But then again, as I mentioned earlier, before I gave you this little rant, the reality is that we are also taking risk with the fact that the market could suddenly wake up and leave us behind, causing a lot of pain. Again, it is very painful to see people celebrate on socials, and your friends and potential family members and so on and so forth. Celebrate green bags and lots of wealth when all you wanted to do is to accompany them to the upside, and you didn't, because all you did was wait, or all you did was get distracted or lack patience, and so on and so forth. So this is the solution. Number one is not be so certain, because right now there's so much uncertainty, tons of uncertainty, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's called FUD. There shouldn't be much fear. The fear is over, in my opinion. This is a big retracement. So I feel like we shouldn't be have fear that we're coming down further. What we should do is, be uncertain. That's fine. Do we continue coming down? Okay, we could. Do we get a reversal? Okay, we could. And the doubt, do we doubt that crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins are going to be around? They're going to be around, guys. You just got to make sure that you don't buy, crappy projects, and you don't take risk buying trash. You buy good fundamentals, buy projects with great utility and good value propositions. And that's what deep dives are for. Okay, so that's what you got to look at. So let's stick with the uncertainty. So uncertainty is fine. And then you ask yourself, how do you deal with uncertainty? How do you deal with price action or charts where you don't catch an edge? And this was me for the last couple of days, to be honest. I'm looking at charts, chart paralysis. You start looking at it and you can't really see where are we going with things. I can't tell. So instead of trying to really time everything, and like I'm saying, time is difficult. Can cause a lot of pain, timing markets as it has done in the past. Instead of trying to worry about that, just DCA. And I know it sounds cliche, and I'm sure there's others out there saying the same thing. But more than ever, this is the time to take that. Is to take that and basically say to yourself, I am not trying to time a bottom, and I'm not trying to pinpoint the actual bottom. I am prepared either way, if we move up or if we come down. And that way you can sleep at night. And that way you can celebrate when it pops. When the market starts running, you can celebrate. And you can also celebrate when it comes down. Why? Because you have capital reserved to continue DCAing. And that's the strategy at the current moment. Leverage trading is rough. And the reality is that the bias is still to the downside. And it, for a lot of people, it's not the greatest news. But the majority at the current moment, the majority of the market is so bearish that it almost leads me to believe that being bearish right now will also bring max pain. Because majority of retail investors at the current moment, according to sentiment, they're bearish. So if market makers, heavyweights, whales, institutions, countries want to basically cause a lot of pain, and we know that the market, that's one of their main objectives, is to leave people in a lot of pain and emotion. If they wanted to achieve that, make these markets run. Make these markets right now, they will leave a lot of people behind. And unfortunately, what happens is, while we're pumping, people will start saying, I should have accumulated. I should have bought the dip. What was I doing? What was I thinking? So this is how it goes. Okay. So the story ends usually with a lot of emotional people that end up buying the top as we start expanding to the upside. And that is usually, and those are usually people that end up becoming exit liquidity, similar to what happened here and what happened here. I accumulated a lot right into here. I got into many margin positions and I enjoyed the rally to the upside. And then here I identified risk and said, get risk off. Now is the time where we are appreciating a little bit less risk zone. DCA all into here, because that way, when we start reversing, you will not regret it. Let's take a look at some of these oscillators here. You can see that momentum is still trending to the upside. I appreciate this on the daily. I really, really do. We're already oversold and we're rounding off. Is it over? And what I'm really waiting for, guys, for me to, really get bullish is to see this orange line. Bring it down here. Please just bring it down here. Let the bears have their moment to get a confirmed higher low. Because at this moment, we are consecutively making lower lows and lower highs. Come down, please. Just give it to me. Just come down here, make that higher low, even if it's a double bottom. That's fine. Let's get a reset of momentum where the bears could not make a lower low. Then we get our next signal. Our next signal is now the bulls are going to come in and give us a response. The bullish response ideally is one that we get a confirmed higher high by breaking above the previous high. And then we start looking at this high. We broke above. We made a higher low. We made a higher high. How high we go, we don't know. We could even get rejected right here at this node of volume, right around 94, maybe 92, somewhat around there. Guys, I'm not timing tops and bottoms here. What I'm focusing on is getting this confirmation. And then upon a dip, guys, we can start leverage trading all day long. Over here, I would like to get into some margin with a clear invalidation. Over here, I would get into 10x leverage trades and let them run and start taking profits as we reach all-time highs. And then ultimately letting my long-term trades, margin trades, smaller leverage run all the way to the upside, and we'll see where it goes. But ultimately, once you start looking at this, it starts to make sense because momentum is pushing upwards. Volatility is already overbought. Every time volatility comes down, we get an opportunity to trade in the same direction as momentum. Momentum, as you can see, is coming down, fully reset all the way down here. If you would have shorted here, you would have shorted here, you would have shorted here, you would have shorted anywhere around these levels when they got to their peak, you would have had a great time, and you would have been good, right? So shorting all the way down was of the agenda, would have been the right thing. Now let's reverse. Now that we're looking for a bullish continuation, guys, the bias is still up. Do I need to zoom out here and show you? I'll do that in a second. That all of a sudden, if you didn't long here, I get it. But on the next bearish response, guys, we have no choice but to long, because we could get that double bottom, higher low, higher high, higher low, change of character, right? That's what I'm looking for. It is a critical moment to see a change of character here in this chart, because ultimately this could be the bottom, but no guarantee. So DCA. When things are ambiguous, that's when you got to just accumulate. You should have a watch list of 5 projects. And what you should do is weekly, just go and deploy a bit of capital into those 5 top picks that you may have. Okay, that's the daily time frame. I'm going to quickly, before we go on to the 4 hour, I just want to quickly show you the reason why I feel like we should be considering that we go for another leg. Is you can see the Bitcoin price is still on the uptrend on the grand scheme of things. Let me just quickly take this TA out of the way. Look at this, guys. Higher highs and higher lows. We're just on a retracement as we were in the past. That's all we are at. So far, this is what's happening. If we break below 55,000, guys, then I understand. That's problematic. Or if we go up for a high and we make a lower high and we come down for a lower low, that's problematic. I get it. But there's no evidence yet that we should be bearish. This right now is still bullish. The question is, have we hit our bottom on this retracement? And I think that we're very close, guys. So be prepared. Now, if we go into the 4 hour, just quickly so that we can kind of see some local price action here. It's this retracement to the upside that I'm worried about. And why I'm worried about it is because it is a nice channel to the upside. We are respecting this diagonal trend line like to the T. It's actually crazy how it's literally printing and respecting it and following it to the downside. And I'm going to be quite clear with you guys. I'm telling you, if we break above, we could squeeze quite hard to the upside. We could squeeze for a nice short squeeze. And the reason being is if you follow this trend line, many touches, many people entering shorts right here. Retail markets love, retail traders, newbies, they love putting shorts right above diagonal lines. And not only that, not only do you have the diagonal line, but you also have a consolidation structure that looks like potentially like it wants to roll over, given the fact that the momentum right now here on the trend oscillator, on the momentum oscillator, is facing down and might eventually keep on going down. However, we could still get another impulse, okay, make a lower low on the momentum line right here, make a lower low, and still go up for a higher high, right, and still make a class A bearish divergence here. And we can even have triple drives, 3 drives of it, make another lower high, still maintain a downtrend, but guess what? Come down, fine, and then go up for another higher high. And we have 3 drives of bearish divergence. This is the ruthless part of this market when we are supposed to be going bullish. People start going bearish at the wrong times, especially at levels of which we could get a pivot. So I am personally preparing for this by DCAing, and I am also ensuring that I am well prepared to accumulate upon this retracement if and when we finally get this reversal to see the momentum roll over here on the 4-hour and eventually get oversold on the 4-hour time frame. We can see that right now the EMAs are facing down on the 4-hour. This is not a nice look. Look at all this indecision, guys. This is so choppy, sideways, indecisive price action, and this represents the trend. The trend is so indecisive at this current moment that I honestly, I don't even feel like trading at the current moment. And guess what? Today I decided not to even touch a chart. Forget about it. I'm not trading. Today was deep dive research day for me. Invest in yourself on days like this because it does help you become a better trader later on. Again, chart paralysis is a real thing, guys. Okay, so I am looking at the 4-hour and I keep an eye on what's happening with the structure. Am I trading that structure? Absolutely not. Okay, guys, right now, this is not the thing, not the time. You're going to get wrecked. There's a lot of people that will get wrecked. Have a clear invalidation. If we spike to the upside, we could just hunt liquidity here because, of course, stop hunts are definitely there. We could peak to the upside. We could get a couple of, imagine the short squeeze if we break above 92. Guys, if we break above this level, we're going to get some squeezes to the upside. Many people enter shorts and have stop losses here as well. We can get some squeezes, and eventually those squeezes lead to a lot of FOMO because squeezes are very strong and we get nice green impulsive candles, and a lot of FOMO gets created with those green candles. And if we get those massive green candles, what do you think people are going to think? Again, looking at the big picture, let me just quickly open up a cleaner chart. What do you think is going to happen when they start seeing green candles pumping to the upside? Guys, they're going to think bull market back on. We're going up for higher highs, 150K, here we come. That's very possible. 120, 150, 170, 2 million. Who knows how we go, right? But ultimately, when we get those massive green candles, the FOMO kicks in, the retail market kicks in, and then it's too late. So this is what I'm saying here, guys. Ultimately, you got to measure your level of risk. How you're going to gain that risk into the market. Exposure to the market obviously entails that you're going to take risk. No trade is without risk, okay? All trades have risk. And even if you're risking your time just looking at charts all day long and not doing anything, it's risky, right? So ultimately, this is what I'm looking at, guys. Be patient out here. Be careful. Invest in yourself. Take some time off. Eventually, this thing will explode. We'll get on the back test. At this moment, it's a 50-50 shot. Bears versus bulls. Look at the volume out there. It's stagnant. Nothing is happening. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Better yet, guys, join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys are going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST talking about crypto news and price action, and I will be taking requests. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a good time and place to make those requests. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.